Buonasera.
Buonasera.
Buonasera. Bienvenidos, benvenuti. Non sappiamo più che lingua parlare, però...
Auf Deutsch.
Auf Deutsch.
Willkommen.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Questo episodio sarà particolare. Questo episodio sarà in inglese e quindi fra pochissimo inizieremo a parlare in inglese col nostro ospite di oggi, che è James, il ragazzo che c'è qua in mezzo. Ok. Ciao James. Ciao. Come stai?
Very well.
Very well. Very good. Okay. Ready to? Are you shy a little bit about this episode? Are you ready?
No.
Do you feel ready?
I'm good to chat.
Good to chat.
Let's go.
Okay.
I have so many questions.
Okay.
I don't know if I have many answers, but let's see how we go.
You already know what we're talking about. Maybe this beautiful flag in the background might say something about the episode. We're going to talk about your beautiful country, why you're here, how we know each other, because it's very interesting how we met. And I think Alice has a lot of questions, for example, about the
No, you don't know my questions. You don't know my questions.
I don't know her questions, but we're... I believe it's going to be about Australia, Italian, and how many kangaroos are in Australia, because you're Australian, so you know the exact number.
I do.
We try to not use a lot of stereotypes. Maybe we'll see.
I want to break them all, actually.
Okay. We're gonna.
I have so many questions about stereotypes in Australia, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, so many.
Am I going to be offended by this?
No. I don't know.
Hopefully. No, I'm
I don't know. No. I have genuine questions, actually.
Okay. I will have genuine answers.
Perfect. But before we start, we have a jingle. We have a soundtrack of the episode. Our show is called Just Chatting, and so our Matthew. Good evening, Matthew. Good evening. How are you doing?
Hi there.
Hi there. Do you know where is the pen? Where is the pen? Is it on the table?
No, I forgot it at home. Sorry.
Okay, this is our jingle, please.
Are you gonna sing it?
Mi raccomando non arrivare in ritardo oggi che non voglio iniziare da sola,
No, tranquilla, arrivo in orario. Mi raccomando, ricordati il nome del programma Just Chatting e si inizia sempre alle ore 18.
Oh bella, comunque c'è già in dirà sigla, facciamo tipo una roba tus e poi alla fine Just Chatting. Tipo, oh ma dopo la puntata ce lo facciamo uno spritz, eh?
Sì, però questa volta offri te.
It was very, very funny to see you.
Yeah. Did you understand any of the words in
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking how I like stereotypes about ourselves, because apparently I'm always late at whatever I do. But we were talking about this today as well. I think it's very Italian to be late.
No, it's not.
It is, like, in general, well, because we studied together. I'm not saying the word Erasmus because I'm not allowed to say it, because I always talk about Erasmus. But now that you're here, I can't use it. I am not allowed. She said it's disallowed.
No, it's not about the word. It's the fact that you should not talk about Erasmus for the whole episode.
Okay, fine.
Just say how you two met.
Well, it wasn't Erasmus for me. That's just what
actually it's pretty interesting, because Erasmus is just a new
For
European
Europe.
thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How was it for you?
Yeah, exactly.
Exchange.
Oh.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
exchange, yeah.
But you were still studying, because some people were working, but you came here to study, like in Europe.
Kind of. I didn't get any of the subjects that I wanted, like, transferred over to the uni. So my uni at the time just said to me, you can still go, but none of it will count. So I essentially, like, wasted a semester.
Yeah.
Wasted it in, like, the study.
Yeah, in the studying part.
That was worth it.
What were you studying? I don't even.
Business.
Business.
Yeah.
And that's why now you're working in the financial world. You're working in a bank, but you're not a broker, right?
No.
You explained to me it's a little bit different.
It would bore you to tears to try to tell you exactly what it is I do, but yeah, just in a bank.
You work with stocks, though, with stocks from big companies, and you put them together. Yeah.
I understand nothing about stocks. Like finance.
You can
it's
teach
like
us.
a mysterious word to me.
And me, actually.
This should be a problem, but
Yeah.
who cares?
But you're here, and you're here because it's summertime,
Mm.
where you are, which is very, very different from here, summertime.
I hate the Australian summer, so I thought better go spend some time in the winter.
Yeah.
So
My first question.
go for it.
It's a bit of a small talk. What's the weather like in Australia?
It's very good.
It's a hot. It's
Right
like
now
really
it's-
hot.
Yeah, right now it's very
I want
hot.
to check because it might be like around maybe 30 degrees, maybe even more.
No.
Yeah.
Do you have Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Celsius.
Okay.
Wow,
That's
this
intelligent.
is really this
That's
is really questions
intelligent.
about everything.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. No, it's too early to have that question. Now I'm gonna do it. So the water, you know, does it flushes counterwise? Have you noticed it in
Oh
Italy?
yeah, it's true.
No,
It's
I
true.
I feel like it goes like back to front. Like I feel like
Back to front. What
no,
do
I
you
mean like it's like you know what I mean?
no,
Like,
you know when you flush the water, when you open the sink.
No, but it's true.
I've never noticed
because
that. I've never looked at
after
it.
in the southern hemisphere, the water, if it goes in a spiral, the water it flushes the opposite way.
Should
than
go
in
in a
the northern
spiral.
That's
hemisphere.
it's so funny. Like,
Yeah.
is that a stereotype? I've never
It's
even
true.
really
No, it's
considered
actually
that.
true. It's something like connected to like physics.
When I'm home, I'll happily send you a video. It'd be the
Yes.
most entertaining thing
Yes.
you'll see for the day. I'll just film my sink.
Film.
Like, yeah, okay.
And from a sink, a spider comes out.
No.
Yeah.
That, all the time.
That was my question. Is it true? Do you have so many spiders over there?
I mean, kind of. I grew up like maybe like 45 minutes north of the city in Sydney, and there's like a lot of bush in the area. So I guess we would see many spiders like around the place, but it's not
Are they
like
big?
sometimes. But the dangerous ones, I believe, are the smaller ones. the
Yeah,
ones
they're
that-
the more poisonous.
Yeah,
one,
yeah. But I mean, yeah, I feel like you don't really see them. I don't feel like that often. I don't.
But it's not only spiders because there's a lot of wildlife in Australia. Like
Yeah.
Australia for me is always connected to wildlife and a lot of animals that are bigger than they're supposed to be.
Very strange.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, I had a snake at my house once, 1 year, but that was like you're outside
Like
of
as
the
a
city.
pet?
It's,
Or like
no, it's like crawling under the house sort of thing. So I know like countless stories of friends or family friends like having to call up people to come and remove like a. But again, that happened years ago. I don't think it's like I feel like that's a big thing that people talk about. Is like, it's not like I'm walking down the street and a snake.
No, but I've seen so many TikToks of people coming from Italy to go to Australia, and they say, yeah, when you open the drawer, whatever thing you put your clothes on, you have to pull your clothes out and shake them before wearing them. Because there could be so
Is it-
many
is it a
animals.
That's
thing you have to
dramatic.
do.
I've never done that.
Okay,
That's
okay.
dramatic. I feel like that would.
Thank
that
you
would,
for destroying my
that-
stereotypes.
That would get you views on TikTok.
Yeah,
I can see
probably.
why that would go.
Yeah.
That would go viral for people looking at the country. Oh wow! Like
But
it's
also,
like-
I've seen videos of people flushing toilets and there's like insects coming down
Yeah.
with the water.
okay.
That might
No,
happen.
One
Or like frogs. I've seen videos with frogs.
I have had like in my car. If you find like a spider in your car, the chances are that there's going to be many more of them in there. That's
because of the eggs.
that's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come in like. So you might have to get your car like deeply cleaned.
Oh.
Remember that happened to my dad when I was a lot younger, and it was every time you're getting in the car there was like a. Oh wait, maybe the stereotype is true.
There's definitely more than here because here you don't see them often.
They hate the cold.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And there's also like a tropical weather. I would say because, for example, I was looking. There's like 16 degrees. It's nighttime, but the maximum is like 21, 22 degrees.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not that warm, but it gets warmer. You were saying to me, like
Yeah.
in January, probably.
Yeah, it's probably the hottest time. Two months would be December, January, but also when it rains a lot.
Oh, true.
So it like last summer for us, it rained like non-stop in Sydney at least. And what you found is that probably more insects and spiders and things like that come out when it's wet weather.
True.
So
True.
that's no fun for anyone.
And it's very also interesting. You told me that the weather in winter is not as cold as here. Like it's like the minimum you would get. What would it be like?
I would guess like 7-8 degrees. I mean in Sydney, but if you go down to Melbourne or Tasmania further south, it's even colder. But the problem is from my personal experience at least, like the houses like they're much more thin, and so when it's cold, it's much
feel
colder
it.
inside. Whereas like your cities, at least in my experience in Europe, is the houses are built for the cold as well.
Yeah.
It's cozy to be inside. It's nice. Whereas I can see my breath inside in the winter if I'm not in like a heated house. So that's a huge difference. I think I've noticed.
I mean, you've been traveling a lot before coming here. You've been to Qatar to watch the games. and also you've been to other very very interesting places, and you were telling me about Jordan, right? Because you've been to Jordan, and it's a country that no one thinks about when you think about the Middle East, because it's in the middle of all these countries that they have war, they have all these political problems. But Jordan, how do they call it? Like the Switzerland?
Yeah, I had a guy, when I was there, a guy explained it to me as the Switzerland of the Middle East, in that I don't know too much about the political situation there, but it sounds like they stay out of it a little bit.
Yeah, it's a safe place to go.
Oh, very much. I felt in like Amman, in the capital, felt super, super safe there. But it's an interesting one. When I told people that I was heading there, the general response was like, why? Like, what a weird sort of place. And I understand maybe on a map you look at it, it's next to more dangerous, like a Syria or a Israel, where you see these places on the news a lot as dangerous places. But it seemed my experience there was amazing. Super safe, super nice. Like, it was really good.
And what about Qatar? Like, what did you get? Like, I mean, you've seen, pretty much went there to watch the games, but have you been like around, like not the city, but like around the streets? Have you noticed
Not
something
really.
particular? No.
I mean, going to a place while the World Cup's on, probably a different experience, because you're not really in Doha. You're in the World Cup. Like, it was very, very different.
It's like
that.
a big village.
Yeah.
Imagine.
So it was like, it wasn't sort of the real Qatar, but I feel like it's a similar sort of thing in like Dubai, sort of like all the time. Like, it didn't feel like the Middle East. It didn't feel like Jordan. It's like an international hub. I think when cities get big like that, that's a general experience I think that people will have while they're there. But maybe if I ventured out more, I would probably see a little bit more.
And what about after that? You went to Paris,
Yep.
or the most hatred in the most hated country in the world, which is France.
Oh, I love
She
Paris.
loves France.
I
She
love
loves Paris.
I
But-
like it too.
Yeah, it's
I
beautiful.
like it
It's
too.
gorgeous.
The city is nice. The problem with France is French people. We always talk about it. But you have an interesting situation that happened to you while going from the airport to the city, and I want you to tell everyone.
So when I landed, I walked to the ride share, like Uber part of the airport to get picked up, and I put it in. I think Uber's always been a good way for me, easy way to get around. And I had every Uber that I booked was like calling me for some reason, like to tell me to go somewhere else, and
Like to go outside the airport so they wouldn't have to pay.
I'm not entirely sure, but I never get called by Ubers before. Normally they just come to where you are, but as they were messaging, and as soon as I would respond in English or I would pick up in English, they canceled the trip, and I had 5 Ubers cancel on me.
For real?
Yeah, so I had 5. I was thinking, what is going on? But yeah, I think it's fair enough. I'm in France. I should be speaking French. So
That's
No,
the
but
thing,
when I've been in Paris, I don't speak French, so I speak English. And then when I called Uber, they just pick up.
no, I got Ubers after that. I did, but there was something about, I don't know what it was, something about being in the airport, going to that section, and I had 5 of them cancel on me, so I just went with a taxi in the end. So maybe that was a one-off, but there was a lot of cancellations.
in France, I think you always have the worst problem with the language barrier, because wherever you go anywhere else in the world, but specifically in Europe, you get to speak to people and they would respond in English, and it would be easy to talk to them. But instead, when you go to France, they expect you to speak French all the time.
Yeah, but I think I thought about that a lot sort of while I was there. I think as native English speakers, it's be the same for the English, same for the Americans. Like, we have an unfair expectation when we travel that everywhere is just going to be
You have a sort
English.
of privilege.
No, it's a huge privilege. We have to sort of put no effort in like that. I think but you're not going to go learn the language of every country you go to. Like, if the French are traveling somewhere, they're not going to, they're not learning Arabic, or, sort of, they're speaking in English as well, from what I understand. So it just happens to be the one.
Yes and no, though.
Yeah.
It's sometimes when
it's
you...
more of English. When I've been there, I speak Czech. It's not that I don't speak French. I speak like a little, very, very, very little French. Just, I know the numbers and, oui, pain au chocolat. That's my French.
That I understand.
That's my French too. And I used to speak English, but they could understand that I was an English speaker. So, they responded me in, I have a kind of an accent in English, but my friends have a strong Italian accent in English. And when they spoke, the French whatever that we were talking to replied in French, and
That's
when
what I mean.
and when I spoke, they replied to me in English.
Okay. But I think you're showing effort there, which I think, I mean, most places you go in the world would really appreciate that.
No,
Just the effort,
it's
no?
like in Italy, it's the same. I
Okay.
think.
Maybe they realized they were Italians, so in their mind they were like,
World Cup, they want to be there.
God, I never realized there was this like feud almost going on.
Oh
like,
yeah, there's always been between Italy and France about everything.
Maybe
about
maybe I'm a
food, about
spy.
war.
Maybe I'm actually French.
Oh, well, I have to kick you out of my house then because of that. No, I'm joking. Are you enjoying your time in Italy? I mean, I know it's not your first time here, and you've been traveling around the country in the past. And
Where have you been?
I am loving it here. Yeah.
Nice answer.
Yeah, no.
You can stay.
Yeah.
You can stay in the country. Very like it a lot here. Very good, very nice.
Very lucky. I'm with Andrea's family, and they cook very, very well.
Yeah.
So I'm very well fed while I'm here. So the
Yeah.
classic Italian experience.
You're
I hope.
improving your recipes on the.
Yeah,
on the phone. He has
exactly.
a full book of recipes in his phone.
I was with Andrea's mum this afternoon, sort of asking lots of questions about how she's cooking.
Yeah.
Does your mom speak English?
Yeah,
Very well.
She does. Yeah, she. I told you she lived in New York.
Yeah,
as well
yeah.
in the past. Yeah, she speak, and also they watch a lot of TV series, so they're learning with that. And but yeah, she loves speaking about food. But everyone does. Like it's something that unites people, I believe.
Absolutely.
And it always gives a chance to like learn something new. And we were talking, for example, about the saffron and how it created the Duomo. So like I think the food is very connected to the culture of the country.
Yeah, it is.
What's the typical food from Sydney, from Australia? What would it be
Nothing.
if you had one?
That's true. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I do get asked that question. I'm not really sure. Like, we eat so much international food in Australia.
You were telling me how old and that says a lot about Sydney, because you were telling me also there's a lot of subcultures, a lot of ethnicities, like a lot of diversity.
It's very, very multicultural, and one of the great things that means is like regions with like, you know, your Italian suburbs or your sort of Chinese areas, the restaurants, you have your selections are sort of unlimited with that. Typical Australian food is, I don't know, if I go to the pub, I say that, but I'll go and order like a chicken schnitzel. Like, it's not a
schnitzel.
No, exactly. That's not it's not a good example. I think the classic Australian thing that I would actually eat most days would be like Vegemite on toast.
Oh my gosh, yes! I know that because I used to listen to 5 Seconds of Summer, and they would talk so much about Vegemite.
Is
it that good?
It's amazing.
For real, what does it taste like?
Is it like jam?
No.
It's more of a peanut butter kind of.
No.
The texture.
It's okay. It's super
It's
salty.
Vegemite. You would describe it as Vegemite.
The problem is, I see videos all the time of like Australians. They'll go overseas, or like people will try it. They'll do like a I'm trying Vegemite challenge, and they'll open the jar and they take like a spoon and they'll have a spoonful and go, it's gross, it's so bad. But no, you don't.
You eat it
can't
with the
it
bread, like
I would
toast?
struggle to eat it like that.
Okay.
You have a little bit with like butter, and you have it on toast.
That's why I was
amazing.
thinking
Yeah,
about
just
jam.
like Nutella.
No, it's not.
No,
well,
I
it's
mean you can eat it with a spoon, but it's not like the same as eating it
no,
with
Nutella's delicious by the
No.
spoonful.
But it
No.
gets me
Nauseous.
nauseous. Yeah, same. After a while, but what would you say? Is it sweet or sour?
It's sour. It's very, very, very salty.
Okay.
It's actually quite
Okay.
hard to describe. It's,
Is it like
should
fruit?
want some.
No, it's not fruity. It's like
No, it's yeast extract, I think is what it says on the.
okay.
Yeah, no, it sounds, smells, looks pretty gross, but it's an acquired taste. You grow up having it. I'm sure, if you grow up having something that I would understand, I understand why people don't like it, but I love it.
Oh.
I've been having it my whole life. So
Nice.
Really? Cool,
It's
cool.
very interesting talking about the diversity in of food as well, but the fact that you would have like amazing Italian restaurants, amazing Chinese food, but when you come here, why is it different? Probably because of the food where
People
they
from
prepare
Napoli
it.
say it's the water.
Might be the water.
the
It's
water.
the weather as well.
Yeah, and you were talking about that earlier, like how how the environment, the produce that you can grow is not the same when even you grow it somewhere and move it somewhere else. So
And also the cost, like it might be more expensive because there's like they have to move, like bring the food
to get
from
it to
the
us,
continent.
it's gone across the whole globe.
Yeah. 'Cause people don't realize how further away from everything else is Australia. Like it's so like the
We just got
closest-
internet. We just got internet.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Do you walk around with on top of
They're like
kangaroos?
Internet
Yeah.
Explorer.
I've been contacting Andrea by pigeon for the
Yeah,
last 5
yeah.
years, so it's good to see him.
And it's tough because if you go in the Duomo Square, there's like tons of pigeons, and I never know which one is mine. Like I have to check their asshole with the letter. Never mind. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, for example, apart from New Zealand, what would be the closest country to get to for you? Like Indonesia, probably.
Papua New Guinea, I think.
Papua New Guinea.
Oh
yeah,
my
it's
god, I
true.
forgot about that country.
Yeah, everyone does.
God, I should have done my
Joking.
geography research. I think I'd say like Papua New Guinea, like Fiji is quite close.
But like
Ah,
it would
Fiji.
Indonesia, Bali is like the number one. It's like second Australia. Like
really.
I've never been, but I know that in Bali it's filled with Australians.
There's
Like
a lot of
their number one
Europeans
holiday
going there
destination.
because
Yeah?
like it's not very expensive to leave there. Like travel to Bali, it might get very expensive because like it's a long trip.
Mm.
But when you're there, you're not spending a lot of money. Same
Yeah.
if you go into like Thailand or India. Like it costs a lot to get there, but once you're there, you're not.
I
Spending
have a
that much.
question.
Go
Do you
for
know
it.
airport security?
Do I know airport security?
You know the TV
show,
program.
the TV
Oh.
show. Have you ever
So
seen?
they
it?
say that airports in
you
Australia
thought
are
like
very.
airport security in general. Yeah.
No, but I'm assuming we have a show called Border Security. Which
Yeah,
I'm
I
it's
assuming
think it's
the
the
same.
same,
and
but
they-
because
they
we have so many
dramatize-
Spain airport security.
There's
you
also
know.
airport security in like Sydney,
Spain.
the Australian version.
I think it's
Yeah,
the same,
yeah,
but
yeah.
the name changes.
or maybe
Whatever.
New Zealand.
You know, they say the security in Australian airports are very strict. Is that true?
Yeah, but I mean,
We are going to destroy every stereotype that
No, I
comes
mean
to
it's
mind.
but it's strict everywhere. The least
No,
strict,
here not so much.
Well,
but
the
it's cool.
least strict I've seen is when I'm flying. When you're flying in the EU, it's like
Inside Europe, yeah.
it's very minimal. But maybe I mean I've never walked. Maybe if I'm walking in not with an Australian passport and I have to go to a separate line, like then maybe it's a bit different. But
It's interesting because border security, airport security, that
Mm.
show, they always tell about like when it's, I think it's maybe Sydney or Wellington in New Zealand. I'm not sure where it's set, but when there's people coming from the other continents, it can get very dangerous. For example, if they try and bring food with them, because food might have insects.
But they
And
have
insects
extreme
are-
situations
yeah.
for like I saw an episode there was this Chinese family and they have a luggage full of chicken
Yeah.
inside, you know, the silver stuff.
Like
I don't even
aluminum,
know
no?
the Italian word for it.
Aluminium.
Aluminum.
How
Aluminum.
do you
or
say it?
We say foil.
No,
Well,
no,
sorry,
no,
sorry.
aluminium.
No, no, no,
Aluminium.
Aluminium, yeah.
Okay.
Not
Not
like the
aluminum.
British-
aluminum.
Aluminum.
That's the North Americans, right?
yeah.
British. No.
Because we have Canadian friends and we always joke about the differences, like tomato, potato, tomato, potato,
Tomato.
tomato.
Yeah, yeah, with the D on the.
Yeah, it's
We do that with a lot of words though.
Okay.
With a single T, it becomes like a D. Like so, like instead
Okay.
of city, we would like city.
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 Yeah, like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm an Aussie.
You sound it.
Aussie. Because it's not Aussie, it's Aussie.
Aussie, yeah.
Aussie.
Aussie.
And also, I learned a new word. It's heaps.
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 Heaps,
To say
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's very.
I think
I sound Aussie.
I never thought that was more something we said in Australia until I started speaking. Like you go overseas and you say, "Oh, it's heaps good. It's heaps this, heaps that," and then they're going, "What?"
Yeah.
So reckon as well is something.
I
that never-
reckon to yeah.
It's like instead of I think, we just
Yeah.
always say reckon.
We
Reckon is
say
better.
reckon. and
Yeah.
we
Reckon I think it's a
understand.
high British English.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, that's a good point.
And that's what I say. Like
Maybe I'm not speaking to the right people.
Yeah, but when I know you and I know Felicia is another friend of ours, and she's from Melbourne or Sydney.
No, she's from the Central Coast, so like
okay.
an hour and a half north of
North
where
of-
I live, north of Sydney. Yeah.
Okay, and she speaks pretty similar to you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a very. I think you're the closest one to the British accent out of all the.
Yeah, I understand
English,
you. I never
yeah.
understand Australian people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I struggled a lot when I used to listen to 5 Seconds of Summer when I watched them.
What did they sound like?
I don't know, but I didn't understand them.
I know it's maybe
It was
even
very,
also
you
because
know-
you're talking to us. I've never heard you talk to other Australian people from Felicia probably, but we haven't had a conversation. You probably don't use
I don't
on
think
purpose, but
I would
it's not
change-
even.
I don't
yeah.
think I would change that much. Like I'm not slowing down, or I'll show this to I'll show it to my friends and family. I'll get them to
Do you
tell
think
me
they
if I'm
would
changing.
notice that you're trying to maybe speak slower? But I think
I
you
don't think so.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. You're speaking pretty quickly,
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
can understand you. We're good. We're good. It's very.
Wow, we're
interesting.
very good.
Very
I
good.
have another question. We got to the very strong point now.
Yes. It's
No,
alright.
it's serious.
alright.
It's a serious
I
question.
sound like
Actually.
Borat.
So,
For it.
have you seen that we have so many churches in Italy? What's the church situation like
Not like that.
over there?
I think
No, not physical. You know, the church. The church with the
as in like what the church like
yeah
physically looks
religion.
like.
No, the religion
religion-
situation over there.
I mean, predominantly. I say predominantly.
Yeah.
It's probably mostly atheist in the whole country.
For
but
real?
Well, I would guess. It'd probably be like 50-50. Like a lot
What
of
are
it would
the
be
churches like?
Christian dominant, but
Yeah, like Catholic in general.
Oh,
Oh,
they
not
were-
actually.
they were
No, maybe
British.
Protestant.
Mm,
Yeah.
Protestant. I know there's like a big like Greek Orthodox. Like we have big Greek communities in
Okay.
Australia as well. So, but I don't know. That would be a small percentage, I would guess, of the whole
So
population.
you didn't learn, you know, we have religion at school.
Mm.
You don't.
No, I mean, we do, but many years ago.
Oh, right, just like us.
But you always tell me that you find it interesting how religion in Italy is very connected to our everyday life, right?
Mm.
Like you notice that when you like
Yeah,
when you're-
but it's also like it's such a big part of I mean, like physically, like in the architecture as well. It's something you take massive pride in. Like I know there are some nice churches like near where I live, but not really. Like they kind of just look like any other office building, or you know what I mean? Like it's not like
yeah.
a
Just
it's
like
not
new
America.
buildings.
yeah, it's not a big grand sort of display or something that you would look at and go, oh wow, like it's
So you said America, but for example, one of the most beautiful churches I've ever seen in my life is the St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York.
Mm.
If you ever get a chance to go there, go and see it. And it's so fascinating because it's in the middle of two skyscrapers. So you have a skyscraper, then this beautiful church, and then another skyscraper. And so the church looks small, but it's almost as big as the Duomo in Milan.
yeah, right.
But it's so fascinating, so amazing, and that's one of the most beautiful churches I've
It's a
seen.
tourist
But in
attraction.
general, like it's true. But
We have none that
yeah.
would be like a tourist attraction that I know of.
What?
We have none that would be like a big tourist attraction.
Yeah.
What
I
what
can
would
believe
you
it.
say is the biggest tourist attraction in Sydney? Is it
Like-
the Opera House or the Harbour Bridge?
It's, I mean,
Wait, the Opera House is that thing, the big, you know, like oval thing.
yeah,
Okay.
with the spikes. Yeah,
What
yeah.
is that? Opera House, like
It's the theater, yeah.
It's a
the
theater?
opera.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've been in it like once or twice. But it's very nice.
Oh, just like Duomo for us. I've been like just once. in my
Yeah,
life.
inside, yeah. I've never
it's,
been.
it's very nice. Duomo is amazing. I really like that today. But
It's like a painting in the sky.
yeah,
So I love
Wow,
to describe it like
wow.
that. I'm
But
very
it's the biggest attraction there. Like it's you can see them both at the same time. They're like, as in you get like a coffee or a beer like in front of the Opera House, and it's looking right at the Harbour Bridge. So it's that area is just like a
You were telling me there's like this area outside of the city center where you used to go to with your friends, and then you had the Harbour Bridge in the background and the sea, right? Is it?
yeah. I mean, there's plenty of lookouts. Like
Mhm.
I grew up on the like north side of the bridge. There's plenty of lookouts like along that like not coastal, but like that on the water, like on the harbour.
So you would see the Harbour Bridge, and then behind the bridge you would have the
Yeah,
the
great
Opera
like
House.
New Year's Eve spot for fireworks. So,
Nice.
yeah, very nice. Very
I
nice.
have another question. What's the pop situation like? I mean, do you drink drinks? Like here in Italy, we have spritz, you know, Negronis, obbligato, the TikTok. You know. Do you drink those things or just beers?
Drink
What's the
everything.
predominant drink?
I
You
mean-
know, because in Paris, you don't have so much drinks. Because I guess for a spritz, and they were like, what's that?
More wine.
Oh,
I mean-
wine, yeah.
I mean, I would say beer would definitely be the most popular. But I mean, I love a cocktail. All my friends, we love a cocktail as well. We've got a big array of wines. There's wine country not too far from Sydney as well. So I like an espresso martini. Probably my favorite drink
But
of
would
choice.
you?
It's like a-
What's the price range? Is it a little bit more expensive
for
than here?
beer?
For
Yeah,
beer
for
and
beer,
for
yeah.
cocktails too.
So for a beer in Sydney, for a pint would be like
Okay. What's a pint? Like half a liter?
no, less
More?
than that. No,
Less?
no. Yeah.
0.3.
God, I don't know how many mils though.
I think
0.4.
there's
20? I
No,
don't-
pint 5, 0.5.
No,
Because,
it's not. It can't be half a liter. Oh God, I don't think
much
so. Maybe
is,
it is.
You know, there's a
Pint.
small, medium, and large. I think it's
Pint
medium.
of beer is there's two kinds of pints. A liquid pint, which is for 0.47,
Okay, I was
And,
way under.
and the less common dry is a dry pint.
God, I
and
didn't
it's
realize how much I was drinking.
0.55.
Wait, it's
So-
a medium.
So we
beer.
get in
Yeah.
Sydney, you have two sizes of beer. You have a schooner, which is you might have to look that one up as well.
Okay.
That's
Small.
smaller than a pint. And then a pint of beer in the city of Sydney would be like $15. Thereabouts.
$15.
Australian dollars. So
which are
I
more
would
than the American dollars.
Schooner is
so
like
it's-
0.42, but it's not like it's a. It
Oh.
says here, yeah, it's 3/4 of an
Okay.
imperial pint. I don't know.
that'd be like €10 for a pint.
Mm.
So I mean, I find it quite expensive.
It is.
I find it cheaper everywhere else I go.
It's almost double the price, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
But maybe when you get outside of Sydney, because it's just generally expensive, then maybe
like
it's a little bit
any big
cheaper.
city.
Yeah, exactly.
what about a cocktail? How much would it be?
Cocktails are like $22.
Sti cazzi,
Yeah,
as we said before.
Yeah,
It's double the price,
That's
yeah.
a special treat. Like that's a yeah.
It's double the price because in Italy you would have like a cocktail for €10.
When you say
And
you don't just mean like a mixed drink, like a
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a gin and tonic would be like €10 in central
But
Milan.
are you calling that a cocktail?
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you call
Yeah.
a cocktail?
So that's for us.
Cocktail, I'd like something more elaborate.
So like a Negroni.
Sbagliato.
Yeah.
Negroni.
That would be
Yeah.
a cocktail for us.
Okay, yeah, so that's like a set. Whereas a mixed drink will be like a similar price to like a beer, be like
Okay.
Ah.
$13-14 sort of thing. That's like a vodka with lemonade or
So cocktail would be something like more specific, more
Yeah, it's a-
particular.
If you go to a nice place, it's a show. It's like they make it in front of you and yeah,
Okay.
that's
okay,
like that'll be like $22-23.
Oh.
Mm.
So and what about like entrance to a disco, to a club?
God,
Because no, it's interesting. Like in general,
We
like
told you
nothing
it would be
specific.
a very difficult questioning, I would say.
no, it's okay.
Because I believe like taking a step back, I believe in Sydney is one of the richest cities in the world, or like one of the wealthiest cities in the world.
one of the most expensive. I would
Exactly,
guess,
at the same
yeah.
time, and it's also something like it's the price range is higher, but it's adapted to the people that live there. you
Yeah,
know?
I think
you earn more and you pay more for stuff.
you have buying power if you're working there.
Yeah.
You can still, which makes travel like to a Southeast Asia, as you were talking about before, makes it very lucrative. You want to do
Exactly,
that because
exactly.
your dollars go further. But I think like entrance to a club, I haven't paid that in so long. Maybe because I am sticking to more like pubs or bars. But
yeah.
if there's like an event on, I don't know, maybe you're paying $10-20. Like
okay,
if
no,
there's
that's
like
pretty
a
similar.
DJ you want to see or like it's
That's
pretty
pretty
standard.
similar.
But I haven't paid that in a long time. In a lot of places, they make their money from their drinks, so it's sort of
It's
come in and
interesting,
spend.
the touristic part of it, because for example, I went to Zurich in Switzerland, and it's one of the other richest and wealthiest cities in the world, and it's not a place you would go to as a tourist, because anywhere else in the world you earn less, so you go there and you spend more money than what you would normally have. It's a place for people that live there. Okay, so it's not a touristic place, and that's I find it very, very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And another thing that I find very, very interesting is the concept of city, because European cities are something, and I think we've talked about this like in the 5 years ago when you were traveling around Europe, because of course you get the chance, you come to Europe, you get the chance to see all the cities. And another topic I wanna talk with you is the distance between the places, but first I want to talk about the city. For you, a city has skyscrapers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. I see what you mean.
That's interesting.
So I would when I first came to Europe a few years ago, I remember saying to people like, I'm from Sydney, but if I point it out on a map, they're like, that's not, like it's like 45 minutes from the CBD. Like you'd call that like the town of like the suburb, but we just would all call it we call Sydney Greater Sydney, like it's all
Greater
just in,
Sydney,
it's all
yeah.
in the city. Like it
I'm
would
gonna
be
look at.
it would be like an hour and a half to drive top to bottom sort of thing. Whereas I found in
We're 20 minutes away from Milan, but this is not Milan.
yeah,
where we
so
are.
I would call this Milan.
Yeah.
Like it's all the same in like Paris or whatever. It's like you leave it as soon as you get out of like that central spot. Whereas I think we tend to just call the whole thing, you know, it's Sydney. It's not a separate town really. It's just like another suburb within Sydney.
You know, if I remember correctly, what defines a city is the presence of a cathedral. I think that's what defines a city in the world in general, or maybe something else. Like there has to be something to that place to be called a city, or it's not about the dimension. I don't remember correctly, but something interesting
Well,
is that
you have the
like-
Vatican, which is well
exactly
almost
it's a
country,
different
right?
country.
Yeah.
But the fact is, for you, a city like Sydney is a city, right?
Mm.
What other cities are in Australia?
Like the big ones,
Melbourne,
Melbourne
Perth,
in the south, Perth's on the far west coast, Adelaide in South Australia, Darwin's like up Northern Territory, like up in the middle, and
the
Tasmania.
capital.
Well, Hobart, sorry,
Okay.
which is in Tasmania, which is in that second island, like on the bottom of Australia.
I'm not gonna say it because I'm so bad at geography. I thought it was in Africa.
No,
Tasmania.
Tanzania.
Tanzania.
Tasmania. That's the difference.
I like
Yeah, it's the Italian pronunciation. Tanzania, very good.
Tanzania. I'm trying to think. Yeah, how would I say it? Yeah. I like
Yeah.
your way better.
And
But
it's
there's a cartoon, you know, so.
Tasmania
Tasmania.
in
Or
Australia.
the other one?
Tasmania.
Okay.
It's two different countries. One is
Okay,
in Africa,
okay, thank you.
right? Yeah. Okay. And every city that you just named has skyscrapers, right?
Yeah.
So your association with the city is a city has
Well,
skyscrapers
they were all the capitals of the
of the
state.
different
God,
regions
I
and different
mentioned
states.
Canberra.
Canberra, yeah,
which
exactly.
is the capital of the country. I should probably have mentioned that one.
But here in Europe, you find the cities, but they don't necessarily have skyscrapers.
Yeah, that's
If
nice.
you think
though.
about it, yeah. Because the structure of the city is so different because they have been built
Well, it's more
so many
it's
centuries
like a business hub. I remember in Paris looking at that exactly. You've kind of got
La Défense.
you've got the center
Yeah.
of Paris, and then you've got this business. Well, they're calling it like we call it a central business district.
Yeah,
But it's not in the center.
Yeah,
It's like out to the side, and when you look at it, I think it changes the way the whole city looks.
yeah,
But
exactly.
for me,
it's
in
called the
Australia, the center of the cities is
La Défense. I believe that's the name of the neighborhood,
right.
the district. And same in London. There's the financial district where all the towers are, and same in Milan. We have a financial district that is close to the center because Milan is not very big, but it's not in the center.
Right.
Instead, if you said this Gaeolenti City Life, if you want to find the city center in Sydney, would it be the Opera House or would it be in the middle of the skyscrapers? If there's like a square, like Times Square in New York.
I'd probably say it's like around. There's a very central place, Martin Place. Is like there's a station there. There's like big financial district around there. I would say that would be like my center pick, and there's lots of skyscrapers around it. But it's only like it's a 10-minute walk from the Opera House. Like it's all super close.
Oh, so it's very close.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
is close. Oh, interesting.
you're not
I
far
thought it
at
was
all.
more like
it's
far apart.
It's right in the middle. Yeah. So a lot of the office buildings are kind of like overlooking they're overlooking the Harbour Bridge, the Opera House. So they're quite like nice views if you're lucky with your work.
We have
I'll
a
take
question.
notes.
Matthew.
No, it's not a question. Elena Giordano says, you understand the difference. No, sorry, you understand you are getting old when you talk about the difference between prices of two countries.
I am getting old, so I
Should we move on to taxes or what do we want to?
No, the distance. This is another thing that I find interesting. The fact that you have to travel 4 hours by car, maybe even more. Sydney to Melbourne, how long does it take with a car? 9 to 10 hours. And that says a lot because for you, a long trip, for us, 10 hours by car would mean going from the top and the bottom of the country.
Yeah.
Like you travel all the countries, it takes like 10 to 12 hours. And that's very, very interesting because this distance changes a lot in perspective in your everyday life.
Yeah, it's a weird concept. You fly like, say, 3 or 4 hours west to go to Perth, and you're in a different time zone, and yet like it's the
So
same
it's
language.
a different
the
time
same-
zone. Yeah. How many time zones are there?
It's between 1 and 2. I think it changes
Okay,
depending on the time of
okay.
year, like with daylight savings.
Okay.
But yeah, you've flown that far. You're in the same, like people sound the same. It's the same currency. It's the same place. It's an odd thing. It's very different here.
Very interesting. It's not about Australia. You know, between Alaska and Russia, there's like 2 islands. Do you know about it? There's like these 2 little islands.
And
one
split it
is
in half.
Yeah, and the time zones are exactly the opposite. So there's like a 22 or 23 hour difference between the 2 islands that are next to each other, because one is in the US and the other one is in Russia. And so it's like they're like half an hour away by boat. But if you go from one to the other, it's the one is the beginning of the time zone and the other one is at the end of the time zone. So there's a
It's
23
stupid. It
hour.
should be, you know, like
Yeah.
a 12 hours thing, but you know, the 12 hours get in the middle, you know.
No, I
I
understand.
don't have the concept in Italian either. So, you know, there's the earth, okay, and we have 12 here and not here. You get it?
Yeah,
and
that,
then
I
zero,
agree with
zero.
you. It's
Just like the
doesn't
clock.
make sense. It doesn't make sense
Because
because
I'm
you
intelligent.
end and you start again. That's what you mean. But it's so weird because one, for example, one is like midday on Sunday, and in the other island is like 11 a.m. on Monday, and they're like next to each other. Very interesting.
Yeah.
And no, but the distance thing is something. For example, long distance relationship. It's different if you leave it like that, because you're used to such a long distance that, like, if you talk about for example, my sister has a long distance relationship with his boyfriend, but his boyfriends live in Turin. It's like 1 hour away, and for us the concept of
You'd
long
say
distance, we say long distance, but it's not for you. It's not long distance.
No.
It would be like going from one, maybe not Turin, but you would say, for example, Florence. You're dating someone, you're from Milan, and you're dating someone from Florence. It's a 3 hour drive, more or less, 2 or 3 hours by car or by train. You would describe that here as a long distance relationship. Same, you know what I mean? It's so different.
I know. I have a friend who her boyfriend is living like in the far west of Sydney, and it would take, I would guess, like over an hour to get there. And
would you describe it as a long distance relationship?
no,
Exactly.
not at all.
That's what
People
I mean.
come into the office. I know people that are even further, hour and a half out, catch a train in every day, like into the city. That would be across.
Yeah,
across
it's
different
so
cities
it
here, yeah.
changes the perspective, and same in North America, because we have friends from North America, and to travel from one place to the other, it maybe takes 2 or 3 hours, and for us it would be weird. Like they would say it's a normal like drive time. You know, it's normal to drive like this long. For us, this is a lot of time inside the car. For them, it's just they're used to it. And so this, I think it's very, very interesting.
Guys, yesterday while I was on my way to Monza, I was listening to the radio and I heard this news about airline companies, and they are working in order to allow people to use the phone during the flight.
Oh yeah,
Not
new
just
5G.
Wi-Fi connection, the
data.
all the data, and you can call your wife, your girlfriend, your friends with your phone normally, like
It's interesting, even
as,
for
as
you.
if you were on daily life.
It's interesting because for you, like, if you do like a very long trip, like 20 hours on a plane, staying 20 hours without a phone, it must be so weird for us that we always used to have the phone in our hands. And
It's
use it.
kind of nice.
It is.
Like
it is.
I don't think there's. Maybe there is 20-hour flight. The longest flight I've been on was Sydney to LA, which I think 17 like non-stop.
You've done like non-stop.
Yeah.
And the longest for me was Milan to New York, or maybe Milan to Toronto was probably the longest one. It took like 11 hours.
It's kind of nice though. It's a bit of solitude. You can't. I don't know.
You know,
Scary.
You just
Have you
focus
seen
on watching
Manifest?
movies.
You know,
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw episode 1.
think about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I land. It's a completely different world.
It's interesting. I want to make this example. It's not Erasmus related, but when we went to Morocco, I think if I felt the same way because we went to the desert and there was no data and no.
How did you cope?
Yeah. Do you remember staying there for like 3 days without any connection?
It's so nice.
Any connection to
It's weird though. You know, you are completely out of the world.
That's
FOMO, fear of mixing it out.
No, it's the fact that if something happens to me, I can't tell.
Yeah,
But imagine the endorphin rush you'll get when you do get your phone back.
yeah, that's like a
these
drug.
Like I have a problem with shopping, and I haven't been shopping like months. And last month I've been shopping with my mom, and I had like the same reaction with the dopamine. That was
Feels really good.
it was dope. Ha.
Dope.
Very good.
We make puns as well. And now the real question: why we're here? You know the number. How many kangaroos are there in Australia? Is it common to see like a kangaroo?
They don't actually exist.
Oh, they don't exist.
No. The government. Have you seen this conspiracy theory?
Yeah, even about pigeons.
They have like cameras in their
they're
eyes.
created by the government.
Kangaroos have like cameras in their pocket.
No,
I've always thought about that.
I think are there more than people? Did I make that up? I think I've read that. I could be completely wrong.
There
More
more
kangaroos than
kangaroos than Australian people. Or
But
like
is it so
people-
common to
there's
see
like
one?
So,
8
yeah,
billions
yeah.
of kangaroos in it.
I might have just made that up, but I think I've read that somewhere.
It might
But
be.
They're
It
not
might
that. I mean,
We
I
were
mean, Australia is very big. The desert
True.
part of Australia is
how many
bigger than
inhabitants
cities,
in
isn't it?
like the whole continent?
in Australia,
Yeah.
I think last I checked, around 26 million.
Yeah, they're
God, I
not
could
a
have
lot.
studied up on this.
No, but they're not a lot. Italy has 60 plus 60 million.
660.
60, yeah.
Wow.
So it's like it's almost
Much more
3
dense.
times. Yeah,
But
much more dense. Yeah.
Australia has like five big cities, and the rest is desert.
yeah, where 90% of the inhabitants are on the coast.
Yeah.
90.
Interesting.
So it's
Yeah.
nearly
in the
nearly
middle is
everyone.
just wildlife, desert.
Mm.
What do you have in the middle? Like
Uluru. You know,
what is it?
it's that would be like our other probably big tourist attraction.
Oh, the highest rock.
the big
How would
rock. Yeah.
what do you call it? Is
Ul-
the
Uluru.
in the indigenous
Mm.
name, right?
Yeah.
Is it correct to say indigenous? Is it not? It's not
Yeah,
racist.
Aboriginal.
Aboriginal.
Yeah,
okay,
or
okay.
indigenous, I think. Yeah.
Okay. No, because it's like
No, the
I
it's
know.
two different things, isn't it?
Well,
Aboriginal are just Australians.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're
Ah,
indigenous
so-
to Australia, isn't
Okay.
my understanding?
No, I was wondering if it was a correct word because, for example, in North America, you're not supposed to say the word Indian because it might.
Well, that was
be
that,
offensive.
that was originally a mistake that they made, right? When they were trying to identify those people.
Exactly, and
So
you
that
have to
makes
call them
sense that they would-
natives, right?
Yeah.
And do you say the word natives as well for Aboriginal? Because they're the ones that actually.
I don't think so. No, I mean maybe you. No, I don't think so. Let me
What
just-
was
No,
it? in
Aboriginal it sounds so Australian. I mean, I've
Yeah.
always associated the word with Australian.
Was
Mm.
it you? I might get confused, like between your stories and our Canadian friends' stories. Is it you that your prime minister apologized to the? Oh, so it was you.
Mm.
That's a very interesting story. The fact that when was it? Was I? No, like approximately.
Too many
would-
numbers-related
No, no.
questions.
It was.
Like 10, 15 years ago, more than that.
I would guess. Oh God, this
Okay.
is being recorded as well. But I would guess around like 2006, 2007,
Okay,
and I
okay.
believe it was our prime minister at the time, Kevin Rudd.
Okay.
I think.
Your prime minister. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
who he
yeah.
was, but
No, that's
the
a big-
action that he did.
It's a
it
big
was-
symbolic moment, I think, and we are taught about that like in school,
Ah.
which I think is a good thing as well. Yeah.
So can you explain? Because I'm.
No, I think that's really all it was like an apology for sort of the treatment of the Aboriginal people when the first settlers came. I think it's quite similar to say America and Canada. Like there's this big how do you
You arrive in a place where there's already people living there.
No, exactly, and you
so
go,
yeah,
"This
you
is ours
steal
now,
their
it's-
country,
yeah
and you
so-
make it your own. And it's the first time that someone the invaders, you would call it like that, like you Australians, you no, but it's true, like not in a bad way, but
Are you like
it's
space
not-
invaders or?
Yeah,
Definitely.
apparently.
Because it's interesting because you were born there. You don't consider yourself as the invaders because but your ancestors technically were that. Do you feel a sense of guilt sometimes when you think about it? But no, it's not. I don't want to make you feel guilty, but it's interesting.
It's a deep question. I think, I don't know. It's more about what do you do? Like, how do you have policies and what? Because this is something that young people will think about. Like, what do you do going forward? How do you fix that? You can feel personally guilty about it, but I think we could probably all do more to have this more integrated into sort of everything that we do, because I know that there's a lot of issues in like those parts of society. So I think that's a long-winded answer, but yeah.
And how do you see monarchy in British monarchy?
How do I say it?
See it.
Oh,
Like, you know,
it's a symbol. It's a
it's
symbol.
a symbol, just
Yeah.
a symbol,
It's
but you don't
nothing
see the
more
queen
than
as your
that.
queen. I mean, I don't know, it's just
To
Is
give you
it
an
still-
example, they have no. She had no. The monarchy I don't think has any power there.
okay.
But when the Queen passed, like that was a big, like I noticed like a lot of sort of Australians were, they were sad about it because we do see ourselves as, I mean, not British, but it's still like very well connected to the UK.
With the Commonwealth.
But yeah, I think it's a symbol, but that's kind of similar to how it is in the UK, right? Like there are big sort of supporters of it, but they don't have any political power.
Yeah, exactly. But it's something from the past that it's like a tradition. You would say.
I'd say a lot of people would be proud of it, of that connection.
Yeah. Would you consider like? Are you proud of your connection with the Commonwealth and with Britain?
What do you
Because
think
it's
about
very
Harry and
interesting.
Meghan?
No,
Another
but
serious
it's
question.
interesting. It's interesting because I feel like different countries have a different relationship to England. Australia, I think, is one of the countries that has the strongest relationship. Because if you think about India, they don't even use the language.
But I remember in the 90s too, there were like, who they? Oddio, Re
Protests.
Carl. Come si chiama il re?
Charles.
Charles.
Okay.
Charles. Now King Charles and Diana, I think, they came to Australia and it was like a big party, it was a big event, whereas they didn't go to India or whatever. It was
Other countries from the Commonwealth,
Yeah.
because they don't. I believe they have a stronger relationship with Australia because it's been you kept the language.
I
For
think
example, that's very interesting. Same as
But-
North America.
Yeah, but it's the same language. I mean, Australia was founded by British people. India was already a country.
Yeah,
People
that
spoke a different
might
language.
explain
I
why.
think the countries I find, at least in my personal experience from visiting both, say, Australia and Britain, they're very, I'd say, culturally similar. Like, I mean, even down to like pretty similar, like sense of humor, even.
Yeah, it's true.
No, really, but
The
that's an
irony,
important.
yeah.
It's like a.
Do
I
you
don't know
say
if it's a-
kaputsi?
I don't say bottle of water either. No, it's they're quite culturally similar. So I always find like when British people are coming over, it's quite easy to, I don't know, they
It's
make a
interesting.
lot of
Also,
friends
the
and-
rules,
So
like
it's your
crossing
cup of
the
tea.
street, the cars, you drive the same way.
Yeah.
Like you
Oh,
inherited. Yeah, it happened today.
Have
today.
you driven here in Europe?
Once.
Driven.
Once. In
How was that?
very
When?
very weird. In Barcelona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with a friend, and I got in the car. Yeah, just have a quick drive. So,
Do I know the friend?
yeah, it was Alex.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Said, yeah, go in and drive. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And
It's gonna be simple. Yes,
It's
no
so
problem.
interesting.
I
Today,
survived.
it happened
I
today.
survived.
You were coming on my side of the
I
car.
hated it.
And then like, do you want to drive?
Carl was
I saw a car today that they had a driver on the right
Yeah,
in the streets here in Cinisello.
Yeah.
Yeah, British car.
I
cool. It was very old car, but-
like a truck.
Mm.
Not long ago. They had the driving seat on the right. I think it's the easiest way is to drive on like if for me to go with my car in Britain, it would be like so difficult. because you're on your side of in the car, but it's in the opposite side of the street.
Yeah.
I
Instead,
made a
believe-
very stupid thought today, and I thought you were really laughing. And I thought if you're driving on the right and on the left, we drive on the left, you know. And if you're driving on the right, you have a different vision of the road when you watch at the mirrors. But then I thought if I look at the right mirror, you know, I just look. It's the same. I
think it would be hard if you're driving a manual. I'm not trying to do that. So
you
used
don't
to
have manuals.
You don't have manuals.
No. I mean,
okay.
I'm used to
Did they
changing the gears
invent
with my
the
left.
manual?
Yeah.
I'm used to changing the gear with my left hand.
Oh,
It would be a
yeah.
lot harder to switch. You're changing it with the right.
Oh,
sort of-
right, because you do it. Yeah, true.
Yeah. That I think I would. In an auto, I think you would adjust. I think. After
Yeah,
a
you
little
put
while,
like
but-
the wrong one.
Do you
all
have
the time.
roundabouts?
Do we have roundabouts?
Yeah.
What's that?
No, you're-
Yeah.
Do you? I thought it was just a European thing.
No.
In America, I'm sure. In the States, I'm sure they don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have way less than us. In Europe,
I
it's
never knew
something-
that.
And you know, in Italy, there's this thing called the French roundabout, and there's
8
like
lanes?
10. It's it's a 10. I think there's like 10 of them all around Italy, and one of those is like near Monza, near where we are now, and it's a roundabout that you have to take the opposite part, like the opposite way, which would be the right way for you.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
another thing that goes counterwise.
Yeah.
It's like the water.
Yeah.
Well, it has to. Otherwise, you'd be crossing.
Yeah, but it's like the roundabouts here are
You know,
usually
you
one
give.
way.
Yeah, if you were going around like anti-clock, you'd be.
No, why?
No, am I thinking of that wrong?
It depends. What you
If
arrive
we-
to a roundabout?
we need a
Which part
circle.
do you
We
go?
need a
Do you
circle.
We go clockwise.
You go clockwise.
Yeah.
Okay, we go the
Yeah.
the other way. How do you say the opposite?
Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And that's why.
does.
Yeah, just add anti at the beginning. Yeah, makes sense. It's very very funny when we were in Barcelona, when we were living in the same during Erasmus. I won't say the word. You were
No,
the
you
one.
have no idea. We had like 5 episodes in which he talked about Erasmus. And what was the other thing? Interrail. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Interrail.
That's
It's
like-
the
It's
like
a
European
trip-
trains. Like
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I did.
yeah.
I show you the pictures at home.
How can you spend
You
that much
just-
time talking about?
Oh, wait
The
and
point.
see.
I could sum it up in like 10 seconds, and I've never been on it.
Thank
What
you.
would you? How would you describe in 10 seconds our Erasmus, our exchange
could do it.
experience?
Go on.
Like with
So, you know, I never studied in Erasmus. I'm Andrea. I never studied in Erasmus. I just drank. I played a lot of beer pong with my friends. It was every night a party in my house. It was very funny. End of the story.
Holy shit, there's
Well,
2 Andres.
yeah, it was like that, right? Yeah.
Kinda, yes.
Yeah.
But how would you describe it? Like in one adjective?
Did you have fun? Did you study?
Well, I mean, like I mentioned, but I did study, but it didn't count for anything. So it was more just I did a lot of travel. That was how I'd describe it.
Did
That
you
was
play
trouble,
beer
yes.
pong?
Yep. Yeah, we played a lot of Canadian rules beer pong,
Yeah,
which is a lot
yeah.
of fun. But
I love the Canadian rules.
Yeah,
so I
it
think
was-
they're the best ones.
it was nice because like we're living on campus, so it was just
Yeah, so it
people
was
around.
very beautiful.
Yeah, it's very nice, very
It's-
very nice.
It's just like I've been there too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I show you. You know, there's videos on YouTube of like they show you the pool and
Yeah.
the beach volley.
I've seen it like 5 times.
Beach, yeah.
It was cool.
It's very very nice.
Very nice.
The whole thing was great.
I'm like a parent, like showing all the pictures from the holidays
Yeah.
to the kids.
like a parent
I
retelling
probably knew
retelling
you
stories.
before meeting you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
have a
yeah,
question. What was your favorite city in Europe? What have you visited?
Wait, I want to ask favorite country and favorite city if they're different.
Oh god.
But I don't think it's visited, you know,
I think
Ah.
my
the
favorite
countryside and stuff.
my favorite city was probably Amsterdam. I spent only like a few days there. It's very beautiful. Favorite country, I mean, I'd say Spain because we spent that much time there. But that's, I mean, it's probably connected with the people you meet. Like
Experience.
the whole thing was.
Yeah. That's why you haven't been back to Barcelona since we left,
No,
right?
no.
It's gonna be different.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're gonna hate it.
I'm gonna walk straight to your old room and
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be there.
that's what I
No
did
beers,
the same.
no pongs.
No fun.
I did the same, and trust me, it felt so terrible because it's not the same. There's
Yeah.
not. You realize that what made that place special was the people
Yeah.
living there and
Yeah.
us living there together. Once you go there, it feels like an alien.
Next year is coming
space.
back to Cinisello because you're gonna
Yeah.
remember Cinisello Balsamo.
It's the
It's
time
the
where we
city
are
we're
now.
living now.
What's that?
Cinisello
Cinisello.
Balsamo. It's like
Let's learn Cinisello.
Cinisello.
Another day we'll learn
So-
Balsamo. Okay. One word. Yeah. For now, it's Cinisello.
Does he know
Or
Sfera?
Cini. No, we probably
Italian
heard.
music. What do you know about Italian music? Do you know the trappers
Nothing.
and rappers?
Oh, he knows a.
You are useless.
He knows a singer.
Ah, yeah.
Who?
Fabio?
Fabio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
we, were
yeah.
we were listening to him last night on.
Very good.
and
Very
yeah.
talented.
Yeah, he's a rapper. Typical rapper from Cinisello Balsamo. Cinisello, you know.
That's a type of sound? Like
it's,
that's a...
Cinisello, it's the town. It's the
Yeah.
name
I
of the
told
town.
you there were like a couple of artists from here. like,
Yeah,
they're
you
from
know,
this
it's
town,
the
yeah.
city of rappers. Trappers, I would say, because it's trappy music.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very.
in Milan.
You'll
I'll
have to
make
show
you
me some
listen.
more.
I will.
Little
I will.
playlist.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah.
I listen to it every day before I go to sleep.
Perfect.
No, I'm joking.
The Cinisello It's
Okay.
2016.
And what do you like the most about Italy?
Food.
Food.
Did I answer that too quickly?
Yeah. You could have said people, but
It's a
never
bit
mind.
stereotypical.
I love food more than people, so it makes
That's fair
perfectly
enough.
sense. Which is your favorite food? Because there's a lot. There's pasta, pizza.
What do you
lasagna.
think about Italian pizza? I mean, is it? I've tasted, pizza from
It's
English-speaking country. It's totally different from Spanish countries.
yeah, we Americanize it. I think like
Mm.
we have a lot more
Is it-
toppings and
It's sweet, isn't it?
no,
Kind of sweet.
I wouldn't say sweet.
Some
mean,
s-
probably
Your,
depends what you
yours
put
is
on it.
more similar like to Domino's pizza, probably.
Well, it depends where you go.
Mm.
Like we, I
Okay.
don't know, we have authentic like Italian-run
restaurant, yeah.
places, but then there are a lot of sort of between Domino's and the top of the range. There's also like a I don't know. I like a chicken pizza, and I know that's not. Yeah, I know.
That sounds
No
cool.
pineapple though, so
Okay,
you'd
okay.
spare me.
Okay, I
Well-
feel better now. What
like a
about
pasta.
Pasta more than
Same.
anything else. Which kind of pasta?
Oh God, what do we have today? The
Carbonara.
That was
Carbonara.
amazing. It's fantastic. Like a real made carbonara.
She has a
Where?
particular taste.
No, I eat nothing.
She doesn't.
I eat nothing. I'm a very picky eater.
What do you mean?
I eat pasta in bianco, which is pasta with butter.
Pasta,
And yeah, Parmesan cheese.
Yum.
That's my favorite
That sounds
pasta.
yum.
Yeah, it is yum.
With no meat or no veggies?
no,
or
no, just the butter and
Pasta.
Parmesan.
Are there vegetables in Italy?
No, not at all. I mean,
I don't think
eat
I've seen
them.
one yet.
There is pasta with like beans,
Broccoli.
broccoli. I like it, but it's not very common. There's like hundreds of different ways to cook pasta, to add condiments, but not a lot with just vegetables. You can
Yeah.
get mashed vegetables with if you consider
Pasta
a
and
tomato a vegetable and not a fruit,
Mm.
then yeah, every like tomato sauce is tomato.
Pasta alla
whatever.
norma. Pasta alla norma
Norma.
is what the... What does he got? He has a vegetable. I don't remember which one. Courgette. No. Aubergine.
I don't remember. I never have pasta alla norma.
Then
It's a kind of pasta.
with
Aiuto?
the mozzarella and aubergines.
Okay.
Mozzarella
They-
and
they-
aubergines. You call it
If
aubergines.
it's wrong, it's Sarah's fault. No, it's I don't like it. a lot.
Aubergines sono le melanzane.
Aubergine. Yeah. I never have it. Pasta alla
No,
norma.
it's so good. You put it in the
Now I'm getting
oven.
hungry.
So good. It's my favorite type of pasta.
Well, we know what we can eat tomorrow. Yeah.
Perfect.
But
Where
you
you-
have to use gnocchi. Gnocchi alla norma. So good.
Mamma mia.
I need to be writing all this down.
You have a recipe book. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Where are you going next? To
I fly
After
to
Italy?
I fly to London on
Oh,
Thursday.
beautiful.
You're not gonna like the food there. Yeah, definitely
No?
not. No.
I've heard good things, so
The
Fish and
fast
chips is
food.
good.
Fish and chips. That's probably the only thing.
that's
that
the
is
only thing you
actually-
can get there.
Yeah, that is actually authentic and like it's not fast food.
I'll let you know how it is.
Okay. I know how it is. Look at this. It's all here. It's all here. Okay. Well, it's been a long episode, but it was fun. Did you like it?
Dilly
Did you
din, dilly
enjoy it?
don.
Loved it.
Dilly din, dilly
You-
dong.
You use the same accent.
Yeah. Did you like this?
Could you
like,
please
this
say water?
experience? Yeah.
Because Australian people say water.
No, we don't.
Yes, you do. I met an Australian guy and he said water, very, strong.
We say water.
Water.
It's
The
different, it's
ER,
different.
ER, it's very
The ER is the same, but the T becomes the D, like we were talking about.
R.
Water.
Okay, let's go and get a glass of water. And
You sound British when you say it. I love it.
thank you, James. Thank you for coming here. It was very funny, very interesting to learn about your culture and your country. And let's hope one day we can come there. And
I'm still afraid of spiders, though.
yeah, still afraid of spiders.
A
You're
bit
right.
more now because I can find one in my car. So
You're all welcome there.
Okay.
So
Thank
thank you
man.
for having me.
It was a pleasure. Do you want to say goodbye to our fans in Italians? Say.
Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao a tutti. Ciao ciao.
ciao.